This is The Foundation, stories from people who build things, products, services, businesses, how they started, what they're doing now, and where they're going.
Well, it is Friday morning here on the West Coast, and I'm with Nicole Mazin of RoofScreen Manufacturing, and I see on your website a couple places it says MFG. I like how manufacturing has been contracted to MFG, but nonetheless, how are you today?
I'm great. How are you, David?
I'm good. Thank you very much. We'll begin first with a little bona fides from your standpoint. I read on the website that you've been with RoofScreen for 15 years, and I'm going to guess that maybe it wasn't under the capacity of CEO as you are now. Why don't you give us a little bit of a rundown of your history? That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. Did not start as CEO. I actually started kind of from the bottom and just worked my way up. It was one of those, we were much smaller. And so I was doing front desk, I was helping with marketing, I was helping with sales, kind of doing everything in those early days. And from there, I was just really curious about the business and wanted to learn as much as I could. So I got involved in kind of everything that they let me get my hands on, which really, I think, allowed me to have just an incredible understanding of the business. And there were days, I mean, we're much bigger now, but in those early days, we were kind of all hands on deck. And I remember I was pregnant, and at the time we had a much smaller manufacturing shop, and we were so small that I was out there helping pregnant, just pitching in wherever I could. And I feel like that was just such an incredible foundation for learning every aspect of the business. So that way, as I grew in my role, I really understood all the different aspects and how, I could be an effective leader.
Well, congratulations. That's
Thank
quite
you.
a trajectory. You
Yeah.
use the word foundation, which is the basis of this conversation, and I'd like to find out from people who build businesses and services and products what the foundation is. So tell me, the foundation of Roof Screen is?
Culture. So we really pride ourselves on having a family vibe and culture. We spend so much of our time at the office that it has to be a place that you want to be at. We have a really incredible group of people that have stayed a very long time. We don't have a lot of turnover. And I think that comes down to making the place somewhere you want to be. We work really hard, but we don't take ourselves too seriously.
Well, how many are in the company right now?
Right now, we're about 37,
Okay.
and we're growing. We're spread out over two locations and then several remote employees. So we're headquartered here in Scotts Valley, California. We have about half of our team here. It's all administrative offices here. We have accounting, we have engineering, we have marketing here, and then we have a 20,000 square foot facility a couple hours away in the Sierra foothills. We have our drafters there, we have operations there, and then we have a couple of remote employees.
I want to ask you a little bit about manufacturing in California. It's not unprecedented to hear the challenges, but also what the state provides as incentives and benefits.
I kind of mentioned those early days when we had a much smaller manufacturing shop. We were doing it in the same office where we were having the administrative side. It was much smaller. We were outsourcing a lot of the manufacturing and doing light manufacturing in-house. And then we said, we're a manufacturer. We should be doing the manufacturing. And we had to sit down and ask ourselves, well, do we want to do this somewhere more affordable? Or do we want to stay in this beautiful state that we love? And ultimately, quality of life is so important to us. Our employees love where they live. They love to hike, they love to go skiing in Tahoe and be outdoors. And that was so important to us to be able to provide that quality of life. So there is a trade off. But I think ultimately We are made in America. We have found a way to make it so that we can stay in California and provide this opportunity for our employees who wanted to be here.
I'm going to go back to the name of the company, RoofScreen, because before we get too deep into it, I want to talk about the products and the services that you provide. Looking on your website, I'm going to have to go to my cheat sheet if you don't mind.
Of
You've
course
got
not.
so many products here: equipment
Yes.
screens, light duty frames, wall mounted frames, frames on mounted dry cap,
Yes.
ribbed panels, flat panels, perforated panels, decorative metal panels. You've got maybe as many products as you have people working there. So tell us a little bit about the products of RoofScreen.
Sure. So the reason that Bruce Green started, the founder, Ryan Bruce, came from the roofing industry. And he was asked to build these equipment screens because he was seeing them out in the field and he was seeing how they were done. They were kind of just thrown together with inferior materials and inferior waterproofing details. And he thought to himself, there's a better way. And I'm going to be the one to do that. And that's where we started. So that's where the name Roof Screen came. But from there, we just grew because there's so many things that we said, well, we can do this really well. What else can we do really well to give value add to our customers? So they need the equipment screen, they need the framing. Well, what can we do to make the panels that cover the screening look good? And why should that come from someone else? Why can't we do that ourselves? So it grew from that. And now we are at a place where we're saying there's all sorts of possibilities for us. And we always want to keep in mind what can we do well and what are we passionate about? We don't want to do something if we don't feel passionate about it, if we don't feel like we can really be a leader in that area.
So you're manufacturing, you've got some raw steel, and then you bend it, shape it, perforate it, however you do, and then you have to coat it, paint it, powder coat or whatever. Why don't you go a little bit through the process of when it arrives at the loading bay to when it leaves to the job site?
Yeah, so we have all kinds of really fun state-of-the-art equipment in our manufacturing shop. We have a laser cutter, we have a bender, we have just beat brakes, we have a robotic welder, we got a couple cool robots in there that can really do a lot of work after hours to keep things moving. So it's really fun to go up there and see everything in action. We get the raw materials, and like you said, then we do whatever is needed for that specific product, whether it's bending, whether it's welding, whether it's taking these big aluminum sheets, putting them through the laser, cutting an intricate pattern. We have a really nice finisher. They go through the finisher. And then from there, we actually outsource the powder coating.
So your clientele, your specifier is what, traditionally architects?
Traditionally, architects. That is really our main customer that we want to market to, even if they're not the end customer.
So I would imagine that your screens are both cosmetic but also functional on the building.
Correct. And that is something that we always make sure, how can we help solve a problem? So an architect has a problem and it's our job to help them come up with the right solution.
I also see on the website you have specific services and you've got some design capabilities ahead of time.
We're not giving people a packaged um, one size fits all. We're actually taking every single project and we're looking at what is your specific wind speed? What is the risk category? What is the wind load? And we have jobs in hurricane zones that look very different from a job in, California on a single story building. And we actually will design for that specific project.
So you ship your product all throughout the states and maybe even further.
Yeah, we sell primarily in the United States. We also do work in Canada. We have done some work outside of the country. We have a job in Africa because it was at a
Oh, do
U.S.
you really? Hopefully you get to go.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about installation because I see that as a service too. Are you saying that you've actually have coworkers that will install the product, or you work with third-party installers?
We work with third parties. So what we do, inside California, we have a contractor's license. So we can act as basically as a general contractor, and we will hire a subcontractor to perform the installation in California. Outside of California, we will sell materials only.
We've had a number of clients over the years that are roof tile manufacturers, and I've had conversations with them about their challenges to have third party installers. How do you work with a number of different installers so that everybody feels the love all the way around? Has that been challenging or have you solved it?
It hasn't been very challenging because I think we know certain partners we work with have certain strengths and excel in certain types of installations. When it comes to selecting partners that we trust to install it for us, that group is really pretty small, and we have kind of figured out here is a good fit for this type of job and here's a good fit for this type of job.
I always wonder about labor shortages and expertise in disciplines. Um, like we've seen challenges with masonry companies and in brick manufacturers trying to find bricklayers. You do not have that problem.
We have not had that problem yet. But to me, I think of that as, well, that's a great opportunity for the future because there's so much talk about, well, is AI going to take all our jobs and what will people do? Maybe we look at trade schools and try to encourage that in schools and the messaging around that.
I agree, and we have a lot of headlines that are talking about that now. So hopefully that will continue to be an uptrend. Well, as I promised earlier, we will keep this conversation about this amount of time right here. I always like to end with this question, Nicole. What should I have asked you today?
Um, wow, that is a good question. I think that I would love to talk about what the future looks like for RoofScreen. For me, we are at a moment in our company where we had to ask ourselves, are we going to be content with where we are, or do we want to grow? Because we are really at a place where we're making good money, we have happy employees, things feel good. We could just stay here. But I think there's risk in that. But what does that look like in 5 years? And I think if you don't stay forward looking, then you might fall behind. So we asked ourselves, do we want to do the scary things that are needed to grow from here? And unanimously, we said yes. And so right now we're at a place where we are actively trying to grow the business. Can't wait to see what it looks like 5 years from now.
I personally see a remarkable amount of screens that are being used decoratively as well as functionally. So I want to thank you for taking the time today, Nicole. I wish you the best moving forward, and I hope to hear about your scary forays here in the future.
Yes, thank you so much.
The Foundation is produced by Studio Conover and edited by Brett Euler. Studio Conover is a strategic marketing design firm for manufacturers of building products. Visit studioconover.com for more information.